Okay, I want to go through some standard signals to help our training go well and go safely. So it could be that Malta has different safety procedures, but these are my standard safety and training procedures. So I guess maybe I'll start with the big safety one, 5 or more head for shore. So if you hear long, loud whistles, I can't guarantee that there will always be 5 because I run out of breath, but long, loud whistles, and then tapping my head and pointing in. So tapping my head and then pointing in, or tapping with one hand and pointing with the other hand, pointing in. That's if I have to concentrate on saving one person, I might send everyone else in if I think that there's a danger that more people will get in trouble. I can't handle the situation. So I don't think I've done that since I've come to Sweden. So in the last 3 years, so be aware of that command. But I also sometimes do a bunch of small whistles just to get your attention. Hopefully that isn't confusing. I won't be tapping my head, but I'll just tweet, 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 and sort of waving you over or starting the start signals. So quick little whistle blasts are just to get your attention. But long, loud ones and pointing in mean that there's probably an emergency situation. Another thing we might do in Malta, especially if it's offshore wind, which it looks like it will be some of the days, is have a buddy system. So if everyone can choose someone who's approximately the same speed, same skill level, one or more other person to be their buddy. And then if the buddy gets in trouble, you can tell the coach, or there's not a lot you can usually do to save them yourself, but just accounting for each other will let me save them if I don't immediately notice that they're in trouble. Then 3 whistles is probably my most common whistle command. So 1, 2, 3, come to me. 5 or more, head for shore. So 1, 2, 3, come to me. And then this one, I don't think I can do it with the phone in my hand, but if you imagine both hands going up to wave you over, come on over for... If I have a message for you, I want you to come over, come downwind of me. Don't come upwind of me, because then the sail's in the way and you're probably sailing away from me. But if you can, let's say this boat number 2 is the coach boat. This is a good place to come to listen to me. If I have a message for you with a 1, 2, 3, come to me. And then if I'm driving away from you and blowing 3 whistles, that means follow me. So here I have myself pointing at the engine. So I'll be driving away and pointing at the engine. And that means try to get, so again, if I'm boat number 2 here, maybe I'll make all the sailboats colorful colors. We don't want you to line up like this, because usually the next step after follow me is go. So if all these boats start sailing upwind, red is already behind, already in trouble. They start sailing downwind, 2 is probably gonna start behind because they're overlapped on 1, green 2 there. So what I want you to do, at risk of wiping out my drawings, is to try to get in a nice straight line, straight behind the coach boat. The faster you can do this, the less time we waste. I may, as I'm driving, sort of go like that with my hands to try to indicate that you're not in a straight line. I want you to get in a straight line. Straighter the line, the better the training. Come to me, follow me. Another one I can do that I don't usually do in Stockholm because it's usually fairly easy to set a mark, but it might be quite deep where we want to sail in Malta. So I can put my hand up. I'll probably do 3 whistles as in come to me. But then if I put my hand up in the air, or if I have a paddle in the coach boat, I can hold the paddle up in the air. That indicates that I'm the windward or leeward mark, and then you'd sail around me. And I probably won't keep my hand up forever, but I'll probably keep my hand up until I think I have the attention of the first boat. Then everyone else can see that the first boat is using that as a rounding mark, using me as a rounding mark. This one's always a little bit tricky because I'm drifting downwind, so I ruin your ley lines. And if I drive upwind, I can be making it hard for the boat at the mark. So as boats start to round me, I usually start to drift so that I don't hurt them with my engine, just so you're aware of that. So 3 whistles has a few meanings. Come to me, follow me if I'm driving away from you, or I could be the mark. Or I just think the fleet is too scattered. If the fleet is scattered across the bay, I may gather you together. Maybe you haven't noticed where I've put the mark. Then, as I mentioned before, 1 long loud whistle. If we're doing a follow the leader, it means go. But you don't know whether it's go downwind or go upwind. I might try to point, but the boats at the back won't see me pointing. So it's important when I blow 3 whistles and say, come to me, that you listen to what I have to say, because I'll probably say, we're going downwind next, we're going downwind next. And it can be helpful to tell your buddy if they didn't hear what the next. So ask around if someone heard what I was saying. I'm assuming it's pretty heavy wind here. Otherwise, my voice carries in the lighter wind. But in the heavy wind, you need to come close to hear the instruction. So if you know that next we're going downwind, then the 3 whistles means follow me, and then the next whistle means everyone turn downwind together, and then we can really measure our technique and trim better if we're all starting at the same time. Also, if you start this close together, that's hard mode. You're already just mostly trying to avoid each other. But if you space out when you're doing the follow the leader, so you can sail slowly and get some more space, then you have more clear air, more ability to try things out. And it's same on the upwind. If you're really close together, the person who reacts the slowest will probably get slowest to the whistle will probably get flushed out of the lineup. But if you give each other a bit more space, then it's better speed training, maybe a little less challenging. If you want to challenge, you can start just to windward of your rival. Then generally, if you're just sailing along without any too many other indications, instructions, 1 whistle if you're sailing upwind means tack. If you're sailing downwind means jibe. So this is nice if everyone's sailing along and then I notice that there's a ferry coming and maybe the ferry is coming quite quickly and you haven't noticed. I can just blow 1 whistle and the whole fleet tacks, hopefully, and then we're all going in a safer direction. So that could be a safety thing, 1 whistle for tack, but usually it's just part of the exercise. I want you to tack so we get back in the right training area, or so we try the same thing on the other tack, for example. Another simple thing, I don't know if I often use this, I don't know if people have picked it up, but using my my fingers like this and putting them behind my head to mean rabbit. So I point at someone, they're the rabbit. So I'll also be yelling this, but I just want to emphasize the body language here because it could be quite windy which makes communication hard. Other thing I wanted to say about tacking, especially, maybe jibbing as well, but especially tacking, if you don't hear me, like maybe I blow a whistle, you look back at me, like what did that mean? I'll go like that with my hand, meaning tack, or if we're going this way, I'll go like that with my hand as the body language for tack, or jibe. So if I'm able to set a start line, this is how I usually signal the start. I'd like you all to have stopwatches so that you can count your own time. But if someone doesn't have a watch, I can also help you out a little bit like this. So if we're doing a 3-minute start, so sometimes we do 2 minutes, sometimes we do 3-minute starts. Again, coming close to me when I do a control position, when I do a 1, 2, 3, come to me, then I'll tell you how long the start sequence is. So if it's 3 minutes, I won't blow 3 whistles because that could be confused with 1, 2, 3, come to me. So if it's 3 minutes, I'll blow 1 long whistle, and I might go like this. I might put 3 fingers up to indicate 3, and then 2 whistles for 2 minutes. And if I remember, I might do the 2 signal for that. And then sometimes people don't hear the 2 whistles, so I might also do tweet, 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 tweet for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Some people find that a bit confusing, but the 3 little ones are supposed to indicate the 30 seconds, and the longer one is supposed to indicate 1 minute. So tweet for 3 minutes, tweet, tweet for 2, tweet, 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 tweet is 1:30, 1 whistle for 1 minute. And then I usually don't do the smaller whistles for in between 1 minute and 30 and for in between 1 minute and go. But I could, if I think it's gonna make things clearer, go tweet, tweet, tweet for 30 seconds, tweet, tweet for 20 seconds. And then I usually skip the 10-second one so it's not confused with go. But if I do blow a 10-second warning signal, I'll just go like a toot with my, just make a small little tweet sound for 10 seconds, and I'll try to make 0 seconds, the go signal be long and loud. And then to help you take the time, while I'm blowing the whistle, or before I blow the whistle, I'll put my hand up, and then when I blow the whistle, I'll bring it down. But sometimes that requires quite a bit of coordination, holding the camera and having my arms up. So no promises on that. Using the arms to indicate timing, and then fingers to indicate, this whistle is for 1 minute. This whistle is for 2 minutes. This whistle is for 3 minutes. And I won't try to do any finger indications for 1 minute and 30. I think that just gets confusing. So then the last thing I wanted to talk about are just some standard best practices for training. We get better training in, maybe I can zoom out here. Yeah, we get better training in if we aren't scattered across the bay or the ocean. If you find that you are away from each other, let's try to get on the same tack. And then if the majority of the fleet is on one tack, you get on that tack as well. And if I don't want you to be on that tack, I can blow 1 whistle and tell everyone to tack with the let's tack over. Yes, so if you're on the other tack from everyone else, try to tack over. And then if you're fixing something as well and you're not ready to go, try not to fix your boat with your sail really far out on the opposite tack as everyone, because you drift downwind and you separate from the group. So what you want to do is tack over, cleat your main sheet, or I don't have cleats, tie a slip knot in the main sheet so that it's the main sheet stays half loose, and then fix whatever you're fixing And if you're worried that I'm going to start the drill without you, just wave your hand at me to get my attention. Just, hey, hold on, I need a little bit of time. The other thing that's bad for training is if you wait for the other boats here, because if everyone's gathering here, then I'm ready to go, and I'm like, okay, 3, 2, and then we start like this. This boat is not even part of the drill. If they suddenly realize, oh, we're going to go, and they start sailing, they're going to end up over here by the time they get close. This boat's going to have to like tack at least twice, and so this boat is actually really far away from the group. So when you're waiting for the group, try to wait off to this side or to this side of the group. You could wait a little bit upwind of the group, but if it's heavy air, it can be difficult. If you want to join the group now, you either wait and let them catch up to you, or you try to do a jibe and hopefully don't capsize in the heavy wind if there's heavy wind. Waiting upwind of the group is okay if it's light wind, but ideal place to wait for the group to gather is here. And the faster we can gather together, the better the training, the less time we have to wait around. So there are some tips for good training. Really excited about this upcoming camp.